So first of all, do we do Baby Sancho? Do we do Harry Maguire, love him with the English media? Or do we do the new shirt deal that may see the Glazers linger on like cockroaches after a popularity war? What do you want to hit first?
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
That comes down to Eric Ten Hag and Jadon Sancho. That comes down to that statement, the blatant statement that media has been inflating, comes down to a back of a loss, horrible loss, honest to God. You know, we got robbed for the VR decision and stuff like that. And the media, you can clearly see that Eric Ten Hag was very frustrated because he thought like we would have won this game, right? And agitated as he was, he got that question. He simply, as the direct as Ten Hag is, simply said, listen, I only pick the players for the right occasion, who are fit, who are showing some grit and determination. And this time it wasn't Jadon Sancho because I didn't believe he did well in training this week. So I only want to put the best team in place. I'm the gaffer, right? Yeah. And what did we see? 40 minutes later, a statement from Jadon Sancho. And the way I read into this statement, you can, you know, I see it differently than everyone else. I will tell you my version. Jadon Sancho put in that, don't believe the lies, what they're writing. Basically, there's two paragraphs, basically. Yeah. Don't believe the lies. Basically, what he's calling out the media, what they say. Number two, he's backing himself up to say, look, I'm always a professional. I always train hard and I'd give everything from the badge, you know, and I've been used as a scapegoat for many times. He goes back to the, you know, when the England cap, when he missed the penalty as well, that he's been scapegoated by the media as well. So the way I read into his tweet was he's having a go at the media and the blatant lies. So what's going on behind the scenes, we don't know. But what I see this past week has been media has been creating like a Mexican showdown, you know, charade out of it. They're making a meal out of it. Well, we don't really know. But apparently they had some talks the other day, and that he's taking down the tweet and everything, the kissed up and made up. But at the end of the day, knowing Ten Hag, what we know, he is an authoritarian. He's a disciplinarian, right? We've seen it, but he has also a very good heart, right? We've seen how he's instilled that mentality, the 10 commands of you should follow. Don't be late, you'll be punished, right? So do you think that in your world, in your mindset, that, you know, he's been lazy or whatever the media is saying, or what's the reason? What's the reason regarding this Mexican showdown, according to your opinion?
Okay, the first thing I would say, if Jadon Sancho was an England starter and one of Southgate's favourites, there will be no media showdown whatsoever. The media will be going in on Ten Hag and backing Sancho to the hilt. First of all, Mick, I do firmly believe that. Okay? Clearly, Sancho is not one of the favourites in the social media, in the British media and by the journalists. So it doesn't suit their narrative to come in and support him. Okay? So that's my belief. And again, no more than yourself, Mick, I'll always have my own slant on things. That's my personal belief.
No, that's why you're on this channel.
Yeah, so Ten Hag, he's a disciplinarian. We are led to believe he's disciplinarian. Yes, but maybe he's disciplinarian with certain players and not with others. For instance, just again playing devil's advocate. Okay, so Ten Hag is such a disciplinarian, and Marcus Rashford is playing, and Rashford is doing his normal, not pass, run down blind alleys, lose possession, not track back. Surely such a disciplinarian would take Rashford off. He doesn't do that. So I think, again, just to put another flip on it, I think all managers have their favourites. They'll have certain players that literally they can't be arsed about. I think Sancho is one of them. So he's probably more disciplinarian with Sancho. I think, in my personal opinion. Now, to pull apart discipline and lack of professionalism in sport, we've seen, and it's come out over the weekend last week, that Sancho was pulling the same stunts at Dortmund.
Yeah, this according to article by Laura Whitwell, it goes more into detail about Sancho's history. They're digging deeper.
Yeah, and we discussed ourselves off air that if Pep Guardiola honestly believed he was going to get a tune out of, again, by the way, I now have coined the phrase "baby Sancho." He's a baby. He's a baby. That's what he is. He's not practically. He's a baby. He's a big baby. So Pep couldn't get a tune out of him. He felt that Sancho, I'm so talented, I'm this and that. I've been the best player at youth level all the way up. Now at Man City, I'm going to start, I'm going to play. But Pep Guardiola, to his credit, same as Mourinho, demands a high standards and a high degree of work ethic. And clearly, Sancho wasn't displaying that work ethic. So when the opportunity came, shipped him out to Dortmund, Man City backing their manager, believing that, okay, this player is not what I want. Okay, you can go. Bye-bye. Now, United, on the other hand, spent an entire summer chasing Sancho. You recall a certain individual on a certain other channel, the whole summer, the 90% club bollocks. Remember that? We all know that. We all know that crap. And I'm there thinking, this is just for clicks, likes, and shares. I was like, thought it was a build of bullshit. Sancho comes in. Name one game that Sancho grabbed it by the balls and ripped it apart. He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. Now, last season,
five
the club
performances that he's been outstanding.
Yeah, so kind of like a poor man's Paul Pogba. All the money, big salary, all trappings of fame, the massive, massive big ego, but just not doing it on the pitch. Last season, he was given 3 months off to go and rehabilitate. And the club gave the spin of mental health. Mental health is like the shield that modern players and modern society can hide behind. Okay? If you have a talent to be a professional athlete in any sport, with modern day sports psychology that you're getting in the academy all the way up and up and up and up, your self-confidence and self-belief is developed. Your coping skills to cope with pressure, to cope with mental anguish, to cope with fatigue, that's built up from the academy. But secondly, in the article, second point, they had to give him his own timetable to get his lazy ass out of bed earlier, to get to the training ground an hour earlier than the other players. Now, Mick, you've worked a lot of professional jobs. Did your boss ever have to give you your own personal time schedule to get to the office for the other staff? No, because same in my business, in the hotel business, my staff don't turn up on time. Guess what happens to them?
Yeah,
they don't have a job.
Yeah,
so professional footballers are wrapped up in cotton wool. They're given these long contracts, so they know, okay, I've got a 3 or 4 year deal, an X amount of money per week. If the club want to sell me, they've got to pay off my contract. The players are so protected because the power, unfortunately, Mick, is with the player, not with the club. And I think that is the inherent problem.
Yeah. Can I get back to you on what you just said? Like, basically, I picked up the flexible timing. Yeah, totally agree. There's certain players to get some privilege back in the days under Fergie. if you talk about Roy Keane, because they performed. So basically, the gaffer said, okay, Roy, you've done well. I give you a little bit extra time off. You deserve it. But that's, how do I say, that's backed up by contribution, hard work, performance. And going back to what you said, the problem with the modern days players, with the mentality, they're like porcelain dolls, right? They cannot stand constructive criticism. And I think the major contributor factor of them becoming this weak mentality is money, to be honest. You throw too much money on a young kid, of course, you're going to party, you're going to, yoo-hoo, you know what I mean? While the modern professional footballer, like take Sofyan Amrabat, for instance. I'm just going to quote his interview when he held up his press conference, when he held up the shirt and talked about Manchester United. And the interviewer asked him, like, simple question, like, what do you do, like, for your leisure? And so he said, basically, honest to God, Eric Ten Hag told me a long time ago, football is a way of life. I don't have time for leisure. I eat, I recover, I sleep, I train, because my career is very short and I want to be. And it's like, how do you describe your style of play? And he said basically like this, and this is what I really love about this guy. He said, I don't like to talk to myself. I demonstrate it on the pitch. Boom. That's it. Now, in the past, what you're going back to say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time, it was more of a, let's all get together around the bonfire. Let's pick up a guitar and sing Kumbaya, my Lord, and all that stuff, and hold hands. That was kind of thing. So Ole, according to my opinion, was picking players that did well in training, but not on the result on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not what you do in training, it's basically what you're doing on the pitch. And that's the misconception that I'm reacting to. That's the reason why you saw Scott McTominay, because every single manager was picking Scott, because they saw something. He did extraordinary things in training, but as soon as he came to that pitch, under the floodlights of theatre of dreams, he caved.
My expression on Scott McTominay was, and we had it during my cycling days, it was literally trains like Tarzan, but races like Jane. There are certain guys, down the years, and they'd rip the legs off you in a climb.
Yeah.
Put them in a race with a number on their back. They couldn't do it. Yeah. And just back to you're saying there, Amrabat and the mindset that his free time is focused on recovery, get the job done and win. And to further develop the point there about the structure of the day and life of a pro athlete. So because I was trying to think how would I explain this. I didn't want to go too in depth and bore people. But Mick, as you know, in the 90s and 90s, I bounced around Spain for many years, riding with pro cycling teams.
I know.
Now, for anybody watching, they were the equivalent of playing championship football. That was the level. No higher. That was the level. See, but you're trying to get that contract, get to the next level. Okay? So everyone's on a 1-year contract. You're paid a couple of €100 a month, and you get your apartment. You're racing for prize money. Okay?
Sure.
Every cent won by the team. End of the season was put into a pot, and everybody got the same share. That was it. And the following year, you might pick up another team or get another contract offered. 1 year. Can you imagine, Mick, how hungry we were to perform?
Yeah, 100%.
And we were lads in our 20s, young lads, So our day, we'd meet at the team lockup 8:30 in the morning. That means you were up at 7 a.m. to eat your breakfast. You meet, and so you're up 90 minutes before you meet. You rock up, full kit ready to go. Team briefing, 15 minutes. Everyone has an espresso.
Like I do now.
9 a.m. we roll out.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Okay.
If you were late by 15 minutes, 15% of your pay that week was deducted. Now, bear in mind, Mick, we were on a couple of €100 a week each, and we're getting a free apartment. Not exactly big money, my friend. So imagine you're getting docked 15% of your wages for the week if you're 15 minutes late. 30 if you're half hour late. Lads weren't late, my friend. Nobody was late. So it goes to your point. These young players get paid far too much, far too soon. They think they sign that contract, they have it made. And that is prevalent throughout football. But our club is worse because we pay the biggest wages, we get the long-term contracts, so standards have dropped. To further develop, Mick, in the NFL, every player that's drafted in the NFL from college, they have to sit down with the coaches and they are grilled psychologically by the coaches. So they have to achieve all their stats, the bench press, 60-yard dash, the press up, the pull up, the vertical jump, standardized testing. And then they have to do an interview with the staff and they're grilled. So the testing psychologically and the interview is more important to the team than the physical stuff. Because they want to know, can this person function in my team and will they crack under pressure? Our recruitment staff clearly do not do any psychology testing when they're signing a player.
Okay. I would just want to engage with the big up for everyone. Sorry for not engaging with you in the VR room. We see you. We are just talking facts, letting out loud. But big up Kev McGee here as well. Elite mentality, 100%. That's what we're talking about. And you're a big fan of Mama, but as ready. If I may come back to what you're saying with an analogy, right?
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of things in my life, and it comes down to team environment. And when it comes to any company that's hiring salespeople, right, you always want to make sure that you hire the hungriest salesperson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you already starting giving them small base, but 70% commission, they'll be hungry. They will chase exactly what you describe about you racing. Otherwise, you become complacent. Right? If I'm getting 70% base salary and 30% commission, I'm going to sit there and say, oh, whatever, if I don't make a sale, I'm still going to get paid. So in every interview, what I used to have when I used to recruit people, I used to say a trick question. I always say, here's a question for you. I recruit top salespeople. I said, would you rather stop a running stallion than kick a mule in the ass? You know what the answer is? What would you say, Jay? They always answered, kick the mule in the ass. I said, why? Yeah, because it's lazy, yeah. I said, wrong answer, because you don't stop the running stallion, because the running stallion will run through the brick walls, clear the path, and create the path for everyone to be successful. If you kick the mule in the ass, that means that I'm lazy, I don't want to do it. Is it going to help? You lived in Spain, so you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't help if you kick the mule in the ass. It will still be a mule. You know what I mean?
Still a mule, yeah.
Yeah. True.
Good. Well, I like that. I like that. It's very good.
Milos Mitic, all the way from Serbia. He's saying something in Serbian that I have to translate. By the way, people, yes, this is a Snapdragon Pro series because I worked with Snapdragon and ESL Gaming in the all the Snapdragon tournaments with Manchester United as well. So that's why I'm wearing this. This is a beautiful logo, by the way. So if this is the shirt sponsor, you will have this beautiful Snapdragon. Milos Mitic is wondering. He has a question. Imam pitanje, Mick, za vaš šta mislite da i Ten Hag da bude trener u Manchester naredne sezon ako se ne osvoje neki trofej? He's asking Jay, basically Milos is saying, he's got a question for you. Do you think that Eric Ten Hag will still be the trainer or the manager of Manchester United if he doesn't get a trophy or finish top 4 this season?
Yeah, I think he will. By the way, it's a great question. It's a great question. It really is. I think last season, he overachieved. Last season, still no striker. Last season, third place and a cup with no striker. He overachieved last season. So if he doesn't get top 4, doesn't win a trophy, yeah, I think he should be kept.
Yeah.
100%.
I think so too. Back to manager, please. Because we've seen this concept before, Jay. Right? We cooked this soup before. We had pedigree CVs in. We had Louis van Gaal. Of course, it was a little bit pragmatic, but he had an idea. We had your favorite manager was the Jose Mourinho, right? He's a serious winner. He came out to finish second with that team was a achievement, his biggest achievement in his career. Then we had Ole Gunnar Freestyle. Then we have the open heart surgery, Ralph Ragnick. They called the club out. They kicked him out quick as they could. Now he's managing Austria. And now we have Eric Ten Bold Hard. Thank God. According to my opinion, he's adopted the way. He understands what Manchester United is. He understands the culture, the vision. And his number 2 is McLaren, if you know what I mean. You see that he's in a disciplinarian, the hair dryers out. He wants to instill a winning mentality. And the only way to do this is to instill discipline. Discipline.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah. Have a question because VR Room is kind of wondering. James is saying, Jay, why did you leave the United stand?
I left for many reasons. I discussed it on the show previously. I don't particularly want to get into it again, but let's just say it became too soft for my taste, so I left.
Creative differences.
Yeah, exactly. Creative differences.
100%.